I guess bringing the book out at around the, leading up to the first day of school, I know that that's a bit something that you're talking about a lot, but it's kind of great to have this book for somebody who's 6 years old, 7 years old, going into preschool or school for the first time, because you do identify those fears. And I think that one of the great helps when you're going through anxiety is to know that you're not alone, that this maybe is just a garden variety feeling that you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do. And our hope is that because kids will be able to hopefully identify it in themselves, then they can maybe have a bit more empathy or compassion for someone who's acting a bit surprising in their class and they don't really know how to manage it, but maybe they have a bit more compassion for that other person because they have the tools themselves. So like that would be, the dream.
Do you guys feel also like one thing I was even talking about, because I was with like a bunch of college friends this past weekend, we were talking about how one of our friends like really suffered panic attacks while we were in college, and I graduated in '07, so this was years ago, and we were all like, we didn't really understand what was happening at the time. We were just like, oh, she's having a moment and those sort of things. And, it's so much more in the conversation, but where you started to realize like, oh yes, anxiety is very much real, or that's something, yes, I want to offer up to kids. Like, do you have one of those sort of memories of like, oh, I remember now feeling like that was like, I wish I knew mindful breathing. I wish I knew yoga then, because now it's like a huge part of me, but it's just taken me time to realize that's what that was.
Yeah. I mean, every day. I mean, as a kid, I was so afraid to fly, and I would think that, I'd have just like a stomach ache or, associate it with something else. Like maybe I ate something the night before and it was just agita, but it was, actual anxiety. And I don't think I really had the awareness, and I moved around a lot every couple of years. And so I was constantly in new situations, which caused a lot of anxiety in the classrooms and things like that. And I just didn't really have the tools. So
yeah, and I was like your friend. I had wild panic attacks right after college, and I didn't have anxiety as a kid. Really, I was pretty fine and with that kind of stuff. And so I was so confused because it felt like it really came out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden I couldn't cross 14th Street and 7th Avenue. And I thought, oh my God, people are gonna think I'm on drugs if I pass out. And all of a sudden everything was just such a big moment. And that is kind of why I started learning these skills. And why I'm also very interested in mindfulness, specifically for dealing with the crazy places that your brain goes to in those moments. We're big walkers. We handle everything while walking.
Walking is the best.
Clear the mind.
Walking is maybe underrated, but maybe people love it as much as we do, but it is everything.
So many creative ideas come.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Did you guys get married during lockdown?
Not well. We never really talked much about our marriage.
I didn't. I knew you were engaged, and suddenly you were husband and wife. But I don't know. I'm sorry if this is something you keep private. I don't care.
No, we eloped. Nice. And then we had a wedding at another time. But it was cool. and it was before COVID.
Yeah.
I just never talked about it.
Oh, I just assumed you had to deal with all of that and getting married at the same time. But it was all before.
Yeah, it was luckily it was, because there's I had to work in England and there are visa issues with that. So that was we luckily like timed things out accidentally really well.
Oh my God, that would have been perfect. Otherwise you would have smuggle Robbie over the border.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to come at all, actually.
Wow.
And also everything was so backed up, you couldn't even try to get married then.
Yeah.
But it ended up being
working out.
Yeah.
Well, belated congratulations from us.
Yeah. Thank you.